Alright, what's going on, guys? Try back again. Here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for Under the Dome. This one is Season 1, Episode 4, which is called Outbreak. Okay, so I didn't post my review for Under the Dome like I normally do late Monday night. Sorry for that, guys. Just want to apologize. I had too much stuff on the go, too many things happening with the house and the car and everything. So I didn't get a chance to actually watch the episode until Tuesday night, the following night. And also with the show, you know, I don't really know week to week in terms of doing reviews for it, how many people are honestly interested in seeing it. Now, the first two episodes did pretty well, especially the premiere. A lot of people were interested to see a video on that. But going forward, I don't know how many people are really going to stick with the show. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of people dropping the show. As far as I've seen, the ratings have been consistently good, and the show seems to be doing fairly well. So hopefully it will stay at that, and we'll be able to, you know, finish the first season without being canceled or something like that. Because if the ratings do slide a lot, that's what ends up happening, is the series will end up getting canceled, which would be a shame, because I think it is a really good show. Now, I did think that episode 3 was a little bit weak, if you guys remember my review last week. Now, I mean, it wasn't terrible by any means, but I thought it was just maybe a little bit above average. This week's episode, I felt like, was closer to the first two weeks' episodes. The premiere and the second episode, in terms of quality, very good. A lot better than last week's, I thought. Some really interesting elements in this one. We're dealing with an outbreak of, I believe it was meningitis, I think, in which case you have the residents of Chester's Mill, and there, a good portion of them have been infected and are basically spreading. And you don't have in the town, you don't really have any true doctors, medical doctors. You don't have, you know, proper supplies and all these different things. So it was kind of fun to see them sort of scramble and do the best they can do without that. And of course, Big Jim comes to the rescue again. Gotta love it, Dean Norris, awesome actor. Can't wait to see it in Breaking Bad with him finishing up his role as Hank. And really like this role for him. I think it's a really interesting role. And his decision near the end of this episode, what he's going to do next week, it's a cliffhanger. It's a big-time cliffhanger. It's like a season finale, mid-season finale level cliffhanger, I would say, at the end of this episode. By the way, going forward, this will contain spoilers. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I'll try to keep them minimal, but I'll try to speak indirectly. But so if you haven't seen it, you won't know exactly what I'm talking about. But I may spoil a few things here and there, so you may be, if you're worried about that, then you may not want to watch. So yeah, finally the storyline with Angie and Junior is starting to go somewhere aside from her just being trapped there. I thought it was really exciting this episode with how she, you know, broke that that water pipe and it started you know, coming in, and you know, it just adds to the excitement because Junior's off, you know, saving the day and doing all these things and looking like he's so great and everything, even to the point where they give him an honorary badge, make him an honorary police officer. And at the same time, you know, he's got this other side to him that people don't know about, and we see Hank basically just find out about at the end of this this episode here, and that I'm really excited for next week. I can't wait to see how he deals with that. What's going to happen with Junior, what's going to happen with her, because Hank is kind of one of those types of guys. He's not truly just a good guy, you know. It's interesting to see, is he going to let her go, and is he going to, you know, reprimand Junior for it, or is he going to, this is going to sound bad, is he going to kill her or something and just bury her, because it will ruin his son's name. So, oh man, and to add to that as well, you know, that kind of comes down to his character of, you know, is he a good guy? Is he, because he's kind of like, you know, in this series so far, he's done a lot of good things, he's done a lot of good actions, but at the same time, he's got that other side to him that makes us think, like, is he really a good guy? He's had this stuff going on with the Reverend and all that, and the petroleum, I believe, was it? Yeah, I think so. Whatever he was importing or whatever with the money and everything like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. So we've had those two sides of them. So I'm really interested to see for next week's episode what's going to happen with that. I'm definitely tuning in for that, and probably will do a review for next week's episode too, just because I do enjoy the show very much, and that for me is really exciting to see where they're going to go with that. Very exciting. So that for me is the highlight of this week's episode. The Outbreak stuff was all very interesting, very fun. Again, you had Junior there, and he's starting to show some other sides of his character, that he's not totally, crazy and totally 100% off the ball. He plays both. He's got different masks, that he wears depending, and he plays both sides of the field. He can be good and do good things, and he did help with the clinic and all that, and keeping the outbreak under control with the gun and all that, and even giving a speech and all these things. But at the same time, you see her and she's over there. So I like complex characters like that are not just crazy because they're crazy, but they have all these different things going on. Which originally he just kind of came off as crazy to begin with, without really a reason for it. So I like to see now that he's getting some more depth and getting some more levels and layers to his character, that he's not just as simplistic. He's just crazy, that's all there is to it. More to it than that. So that to me is the biggest, most interesting thing about the series up to this point, I think, maybe. I'll see what happens, at least with the characters anyway. See what happens next week with Big Jim and Angie and Junior. Good stuff. Going on from there, as I mentioned, I liked the Outbreak. I thought it was a good idea, and it played out really well. So that was all cool, no problems with that at all. I enjoyed that very much. Then you have Barbie and the reporter, who are still kind of, you've got some interesting, that's an interesting situation as well too. She's kind of finding out about what was happening, and of course she's kicking him out of the house now and everything like that, because she's kind of realizing what happened between them. I don't believe, I may have missed it because the sound when I was watching it, there was a fan on and stuff. I don't think, did she find out that he killed him? I don't think so, but I think she knows that he was gunning for her husband, or coming down to try and get money from her, whatever the case may be, for the betting or gambling that he was doing. So that was pretty good. I like that. Nice to see that resolved now. Hopefully we can move on with some other storylines and some other things happening afterwards, because that was getting a little bit drawn out, just like the Angie thing, a little bit drawn out. So I like that they're starting to finish those two off and move forward with the story. So that's that in terms of those. I mean, those are really the three things in this week's episode: was the Outbreak, the Junior Angie Big Jim situation, and the Barbie situation with the reporter. As well, one other thing I forgot to mention was the teenagers. So you have the teenagers and that have the seizure every time they touch. I love that. That was a great scene where they watch the video playback of themselves, and when they touch it first, they're like, oh, it's nothing, and then they have their seizures, and that really freaked me out when the kid, they're doing the, what is it, Pink Stars Are Falling thing, and then he kind of gets up and he goes like this, like shh, like that to himself through the video. That was really freaky, man. Really, really freaky. Oh man, that was weird to watch that. That was like horror. That was really well done, and because you didn't expect it, and it's like, wow, it's like they're sending him a message. Got to be aliens or something of the sort. It had, like, the whole dome thing has to be aliens, I would think, at this point. You can't really go with the government explanation anymore. I think that right there with what happened with that, that's conclusive that it's aliens or some kind of weird thing like that. So yeah, so that was a really good scene too. And I, last week I didn't like the teenagers. This week I did like them quite a bit. And I mean, I think that's basically it. I mean, there was some other stuff, but that's essentially what I wanted to talk about. So in terms of giving this week's episode a rating, I thought it was a great episode. One of the best episodes we've had so far, and I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was really good, and definitely hope people don't give up on the show yet. Hope it doesn't get canceled, because it is nice to have in between, because I go Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, and then Under the Dome, and then of course this year Breaking Bad, and then The Walking Dead starts back up again. So hopefully it gets renewed. There was some rumors and talk of maybe a second season, so hopefully we finish the first season and maybe it gets renewed for a second season. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let me know what you guys are thinking about Under the Dome, how you're feeling about it. Do you want to see me continue the reviews? I have to see if there's enough interest, because if there isn't, then I may just stop doing them, even though I do enjoy them. I'll definitely watch the series either way, but just because I watch a show doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to review it. If there's no interest there, there's really no reason for me to review it if no one's going to watch it, if nobody's like interested in it. So let me know what you guys think about the series and your level of interest at this point. Are you still as interested as you were at the start? More so now with the new developments, or less? Yeah, that's what I really want to know. So anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you next week for the Under the Dome Season 1, Episode 5 review, and then, of course, all the other topics. Yeah, so peace, guys.